All right, welcome back to the Powers on Sports podcast. Again, remember, it's Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you thank somebody in your inner circle for their service. And we have a military veteran joining us right now, Mr. Steve Carney, Navy veteran. Thanks for your service, Mr. Carney. Appreciate that. And Mr. Steve is an insider for the Rays, does some work for MLB. Covers the Florida State League as well. Is also the host of the Under the Orange Roof podcast, which is about all things Tampa Bay Rays. So welcome back to the podcast, Steve.
Thank you, Jason. And I appreciate it that you did not say Happy Memorial Day. That's the one pet peeve that I have about the Memorial Day holiday. This is not a happy holiday. This is a solemn remembrance type holiday. So thank you for remembering that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Again, thank you for your service. I know you were a Navy guy, right?
Yeah, 8 years in the Navy. 6 of them on active duty. I spent 4 years on the USS Theodore Roosevelt, which is a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, as a nuclear power plant operator. So I spent my butt in the engine room, sweating my. I was a lot thinner then because I was sweating it all the way. I'll tell you that much.
So are you going to be at the premiere of Top Gun Maverick this weekend?
It's funny. I was not much of a Top Gun fan, even growing up. Like I was like, Top Gun, I don't care. And having worked on an aircraft carrier around those planes, I got a lot of respect for the people that work on the planes. It was still kind of tough to be, to look at the guys that actually fly the planes, because all I keep thinking of is Tom Cruise flexing at his buddies playing beach volleyball all oiled up. So I mean, and that's what pilots are like to me, because they're kind of goofy. But I have a ton of respect for the people that actually work on the aircraft. And so Am I going to be watching Top Gun Maverick this weekend? I probably will wait until Monday, because that's actually a day off for me. But I have a feeling I'll be seeing it. Everybody that I've heard that has seen it already thinks that it's fantastic. So I mean, obviously, it's got to be good.
It's crazy because people don't realize this movie was made like 3 years ago. It was supposed to be released right before COVID. All that COVID started, so it's been in the trailer in the trailer for like 3 years now.
Yeah, they've been waiting. And you got to remember that the original Top Gun came out in 1986. Yeah. So we're talking about a movie that's 35 years old almost. Yeah, and right. So it's amazing to see Tom Cruise reprise the role, because that character is old now.
Yes. All right, let's get to some baseball. We're about the quarter pole here. Memorial Day is always kind of the first kind of mark of the calendar as far as baseball teams and such. Yep. Just give me your general thoughts as we get. Everybody's played about 40 to 45 games or so. Just give me your general thoughts of the first 40 or 45 games of the year.
Well, the first 40 to 45 games, to me, I think some of the bigger surprises have been, obviously the health of the New York Yankees. The fact of the matter is, did I think that the Yankees were going to be good? I certainly did. But I did not think that they would remain healthy as long as they have. They have not had a significant injury at all here this year. Judge has stayed healthy. Stanton has stayed healthy. Rizzo has stayed healthy. Their pitching staff has stayed healthy. The bullpen, for the most part, has stayed healthy. I know Chad Green left a couple of days ago due to injury, but they have had a remarkable run, especially pitching-wise, with their health, because there are a lot of teams out there that are dealing with injury issues because of the fact that spring training was so short. Instead of getting 6 weeks to get everybody stretched out, it was like 3 weeks and go. And so I think teams really didn't realize how much that extra 3 weeks means to a pitcher. So the fact that the Yankees have been this healthy has been very surprising. I think looking on the National League side, obviously and I know that you want to get into more about the Mets, so I will leave the Mets away from this. But I really do think that, you know, once again, here we are. It's the National League West again.
Yep.
The Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants. This is going to be a slugfest again. And you know, the Dodgers just keep on trucking, but the Padres are keeping up this year, and the Giants once again are you know, the talk. So I just think that the National League West is going to be so much fun to watch this year. And for anybody that has MLB TV, you know, it's great to have an opportunity to watch those late games.
And the game of the year was a couple nights ago, Mets and Giants.
Oh yeah, the 13-12 game.
Unbelievable.
What an amazing performance by Jock Peterson that night. That was awesome.
It was incredible. It was 8-2. It was 8-2 Giants. Then it was 11-8 Mets. And then it was 11-11. Then it was 12-11. Then it was 13-12, all in 9. And it didn't even go to extra innings, all in 9 innings.
Yeah, the only problem with that game is I know that Commissioner Manfred is like, that's the game that we don't want to talk about when it comes to pace of play. Because that was a slow game.
Right. What do you think as far as the two things with the Yankees? Are they going to stick with Chapman, or do you think they're going to be in the market for a closer?
Well, I mean, everybody's going to, you know, everybody is always looking to upgrade their pitching staff. There's no doubt in my mind that they're looking. The question becomes, you know, Chapman makes a lot of scratch, and I don't think that any team that has a decent closer is going to be willing to give them up, because, I mean, you look at it, there's probably going to be, I don't know, 3 or 4 teams that will be looking to sell before we get to the true crunch time in July. You know, none of them really have closers. You know, nobody wants whoever is pitching the 9th inning for the Cincinnati Reds, right?
Right.
So I think it's going to be very, very, you know, nobody wants who's pitching the 9th inning for Washington.
Right.
So I really do think it's going to be tough for them to try and find a closer early. And by the time that the teams that are going to be in the market to sell and are willing to sell come July, you know, the market for closers and for pitching in general is always marked up in July. It's always a lot tougher to get a good pitcher because everybody wants a good pitcher. The teams that are looking to sell are the ones who are in the driver's seat. So they can ask for the moon. And so I think they'll look. I don't think they'll find, and I think they're going to have to stick with Chapman. And that's not a bad thing. Aroldis Chapman is having a stretch where he has not been very good, but he's a good pitcher, and he'll figure it out.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of the Yankees, last thing about the Yankees, your thoughts on the whole Donaldson and Tim Anderson kind of dust up and blow up. And, you know, like you said, the Yankees have avoided injury problems, but this is more of a could be a clubhouse problem moving forward, depending on how it's handled.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Josh Donaldson, I don't know Josh Donaldson very well, but from what I've seen on the outside, Josh Donaldson doesn't look like he's a very good teammate, or he can be kind of toxic, if you know what I mean. I really do think that that's going to be an issue for the Yankees, because if you have somebody toxic in your clubhouse, you know, and he's gone through Oakland, Toronto, Minnesota, now with the Yankees, or Atlanta, Minnesota, and now with the Yankees.
Yeah.
You know, you start to wonder, you know, what's really going on with this dude. And, you know, I'm very curious to see how the Yankees handle it, because let's face it, you know, come on. And Tim Anderson, yes, he's loud, he's brash, but everybody that I know that has played with Tim Anderson, you know, calls him like the ultimate teammate. You know, I don't hear guys calling Josh Donaldson that. So, you know, so right now I'm thinking that this is an issue with the Yankees, and it may be one of the few issues that they have as long as they stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue on the field. You know, we'll see what it's like, what it does to the chemistry in the clubhouse.
Right. All right. Let's get to your expertise, the Rays. Another good start. The couple things just from the outside looking in, you would wonder they've blown a couple leads late in some games here lately. Yeah. The bullpen, some games they should win against some bad teams. Just your overall thought about the Rays roster and such.
Yeah, I think whereas the Yankees have not had to deal with a whole lot of injury issues, the Rays have had to deal with a lot. And to be 9 games over 500 and having the number of man games missed by this team, when you're thinking about, Shane Baz has missed the entire season so far. Now, it looks like he is close to returning. He's on his rehab assignment. He's eligible to come off the injured list, I believe, June 6th. And if he's not off on June 6th, I think it's going to be close for him to be back on June 6th. Yep. They got 1 inning out of Luis Patino this year. He is a little further behind when it comes to his injury status. So it may still be a while before we see him. They lost JT Chargois early. They've lost Brandon Lau. They've lost Manuel Margot. Right. Wander Franco has had the leg issues. Andrew Kittredge now has the back issue. They've had a lot of problems when it comes to injury. And to be where they are and to be within striking distance, because let's face it, they're 4.5 games out. They haven't seen the Yankees yet this year. They still have 19 games to play against them. Right. Because the Yankees, you can say they've got this great record. They've played the Orioles 10 times already. Right. So I look at it, they've got an opportunity here to still be within striking distance and to have all these games head to head remaining. I think they're in good shape, especially when they start getting some of these guys back. They got Manuel Margot back on Wednesday. They're going to get Shane Baz back here soon. They're going to get Brandon Lau at some point. He still has at least a couple of weeks while he's shut down before they reevaluate him for his back issues. They've got to get some of these guys back, but right now, the way things stand, they've done a great job of having, worked around them, stretching out Jeffrey Springs to starters line. I don't think any of us thought that Jeffrey Springs would be the answer in the rotation, but he has. I don't think anybody thought that Jalen Beeks would come back from Tommy John surgery looking as strong as he has. And I don't think anybody thought that Colin Poche coming back from Tommy John surgery would look as strong as he has. So they've done a good job with that.
Yep. 2 guys that have been super impressive for the Rays. And McClanahan is really stepping forward as a number 1. And Rasmussen has done a great job kind of being the number 2 guy. Just your thoughts on those 2 guys at the top of the rotation.
Yeah, I think a lot of us thought that McClanahan would be the guy to take the mantle as number 1. He's got the mindset and of obviously the physical stuff that he has is just absolutely incredible. But the fact of the matter is he has done an incredibly good job of adjusting in inning. Almost any starting pitcher can go into the dugout after an inning and go, okay, this is what I need to change.
Right.
McClanahan is a guy that can do that while he's on the mound, and it does not take a lot. It takes a mound visit, maybe, if to get the catcher in the right, the right, on the right wavelength, or when you get Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach, in there to kind of hash things out in a 30-second span. But he's the guy that's done a really good job of making adjustments in the middle of an inning to limit damage, when they get guys on. And I think that's been a really good job. Drew Rasmussen, for a guy that, really is a 2-pitch pitcher, has really done a good job of differentiating the fastball and the off speed. He throws the fastball up. He throws the breaking ball down. And I think that the stuff is good, is that good that he can pitch with 2 pitches and get you 5 innings. Now, Drew's not going to go 7 or 8 innings like McClanahan will, because McClanahan's got the stuff. But, having 2 pitches and getting 5 innings, or 5 1/3 innings out of him, I think is a great thing to have. And they can move him down a little bit once Shane Boz comes back and takes over the mantle, because I think Boz is going to end up being the number 2, and then you've got Rasmussen at 3,
right.
Springs at 4, and
then a bullpen
Corey
Kluber.
Kluber. No, you got Corey Kluber
right.
at 5.
Right.
So those would be your 5, and I think that you use Ryan Yarbrough as the long relief guy, or you use him if you want to get these guys an extra day of rest. And I think that's going to be really crucial here while rosters are at 26. That's when you go, okay, this is where we use Jalen Beeks for 2, Ryan Yarbrough for 4, and that right. and as a 6th time through the rotation to get everybody an extra day of rest.
No doubt about it. No doubt. Again, the Rays are doing a great job. The Yankees coming to town Memorial Day weekend. Again, hopefully we'll get any update on the stadium situation.
Not so much on a new stadium. I do know that the 4 games here in St. Petersburg, there are going to be a lot of people there. They've already they've sold out Saturday. I believe they're close to selling out Sunday.
Good.
Thursday's going to be a little light, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think are going to be couple of the biggest crowds of the year. Obviously, opening day sold out. Yeah. We've had a couple of other weekend games that have been pretty well attended, but yeah, these are probably going to be the four biggest games in a row all together.
And again, if you're the Rays, you just don't want to get swept. I mean, I think you're 4.5 games out going into the weekend. Just as long as you don't get swept, you're still in it. You don't want to get 8 or 9, 10 games out. But
yeah, you want to win. Obviously, you want to win the series. You want to take 3 out of 4. But you look at who the Yankees are throwing in these 4 games. You're going to see Nestor Cortez in the first game. You're going to see Garrett Cole. You're going to see Severino, and you're going to see Jameson Taillon. Taillon in the second game, Cole in the third game, Severino in the fourth game. That's a really tough ask to try and get 3. Now, do the Rays have what it takes to get 3 out of 4? I think they do. But I think that as long as you split, you should be happy because you're not losing any ground. And yes, you lost 4 days on the schedule, but as you mentioned, it's Memorial Day. It's the first signpost of the season. I use Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day as your signpost to go, okay, this is who we are. This is what we need. Yep. And that's where you find it.
Cool. All right. Let's go to the National League real quick. Let's hit on the Mets and Buck Showalter. Great job by Showalter taking over that team, new ownership. They've got an influx of money. They've been without DeGrom the whole year, and they're going to be without Scherzer for a while. Just your thoughts on the Mets and Buck Showalter.
Yeah, they got out to that great start, and now it's the question is going to be can the pitching hold it for them? As you mentioned, DeGrom has the stress reaction in the shoulder. Apparently, he is getting close to returning. Scherzer with the oblique, missing 6 to 8 weeks to grade 2 strain, which is the middle of the 3 strains.
Right.
And so, grade 3 is a full tear. So,
right.
But I really do think that, it's going to be, can what they have left in the bullpen hang on? I think they can, and I think that for them, they're the ones that are going to be more likely to go out and get a pitcher right now. If anybody is looking for pitching, it's obviously the New York Mets because, as much as, I like Carlos Carrasco and I like Taijuan Walker, they need someone else. And there's actually a guy that I think that they could go out and get, and I think they could probably get rather, I don't want to say it's inexpensive, but I don't think they would have to give up a lot in order to get him because he's not in the rotation right now, actually pitching quite well, but he plays for a team that is so overflowing with their riches that I think that they could deal this pitcher and still be in great shape. And that is you go to the Dodgers and go, what's it going to take to get David Price? Yeah. David's not in their rotation.
Yeah.
And he's making, this is the final year of his 7-year deal.
Right.
And I really do think that, you can take on the rest of that contract. It's going to be somewhere in the vicinity of about $20 million.
Cohen can afford it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Stevie Cohen, he's already in the top bracket for the luxury tax. So what the hell? Go on, take on a little bit more money. Go and take on David Price's contract and use David as a starter. And he's I don't know if he's fully stretched out, but even if he's stretched out to say 3 innings,
takes him a month to get stretched out.
No, well, if he's stretched out to 3 innings, it'll take him 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm good with that, and go out and get David and use him to try and stay ahead in the National League East. And Ian, you don't have to worry about him hitting. I don't see why that doesn't happen. It makes a ton of sense.
No, you're right. That's a great point, because like you said, even though we all think the Dodgers are all about money, if you can get $20 million off the salary cap for a guy that you're not really using, I know he's an insurance policy for the Dodgers and but you're right, that'd be a good move. And he's got, obviously tons of postseason experience. Yeah. And you want to say, can he give us 3 good months? That's all you're looking for is 3 good months.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And then you can, and then he becomes your insurance policy.
Right.
It makes so much sense. And then the Dodgers are able to take, the $20 million that they'll have saved by moving David Price, and they can use that.
Get 2 more guys. They get 2 more guys
at the deadline.
Correct.
There you go.
All right. So you cover the Florida State League as part of your duties with MLB. The Yankees in the Florida State League making some history with the first female manager.
Yeah.
Give me a little background. Do you know her at all?
Rachel Balkovec. I've done a number of games that she has managed.
And remember, fans, the Yankees minor league affiliates here in Tampa. So we're all here in Tampa. So we're right around the corner from.
I've watched the Tampa Tarpons quite a bit. When they come to Dunedin, when they come to Clearwater, because those are the 2 teams that I'm really, that's where I'm based, is on the other side of the Tampa Bay region. So I do Clearwater, which is the Phillies affiliate, and Dunedin, which is the Blue Jays affiliate. But the Tampa Tarpons have come here to both cities already this year during the summer. I think she's going to be a really good manager. She's done a really good job this year. They've had obviously their number 1 prospect, the Yankees' number 1 prospect, Jason Dominguez, the outfielder, has been here in Tampa. And they've been very, very careful with him, I should say. They usually will give him, they'll play him 3 days and then give him a day off. And so in a 6-game series, and that's what the minor league series are this year, it's you play 6 days in a row and then you have Mondays off.
Okay.
So
interesting.
So it's 6-game series here in the Florida State League. So like he'll come to Dunedin, he'll play 3 days, he'll get a day off, usually on Friday, and then he'll play Saturday and Sunday, and then get the day off on Monday, and then repeat. So, but she's done a really good job. The one thing that I will say is that the Tampa Tarpons have a boatload of swing and miss in them right now, because already twice this year, I saw them set a new minor league record for strikeouts in a game. In Clearwater, they struck out 22 times and did not walk. And the record, of course, was 20, but they struck out 22 times in a 9-inning game. And then in Dunedin a couple of weeks ago, I saw them strike out 24 times in a 9-inning game. There is a lot of swing and miss on that in that single A team, and that's to be expected.
What is her background? Is she from the scouting background? Is she how did she get her rise in the Yankee organization?
She obviously was a college softball player.
Okay.
But she's been very good with they brought her in to do player development in 2019, I want to say. And then in 2020, she spent time in the alternate site, the alternate training site, working with players, development wise. And so they said, you know what? You've done a great job in player development. We're going to give you a shot. And they allowed her to be the first manager. I want to say that she was doing uniform stuff in the minors in 2021. But then this year they said, at the higher levels. I forget if it was at Somerset or in Scranton that she was working.
Okay.
But then they said, you want to manage? And they allowed her to be the manager here this year. She's done a great job controlling the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do, she's a tough cookie. We know in spring training, she got hit on the head with a foul ball. And so she's a tough cookie. And she doesn't put up with any guff because I think she could bench press most of those guys.
All right, we're at the quarter, Paul. Who's the in your opinion, who's the best team in the league?
I mean, obviously, I would say
forget record. Who do you think's the best team? Forget their record.
Oh, the Dodgers. Then the Dodgers.
Okay.
They are so thick at every position. It's unbelievable that you can put together a roster like that and make it work. And for some reason, these guys actually like playing with each other. So, because normally you get that many huge contracts together and you get headbutting. You get the egos get involved. Right. There's very little ego on that team as well, which is amazing to think because you have Freddie Freeman and Cody Bellinger and Mookie Betts. Betts is a former MVP. Bellinger's a former MVP. Freeman was MVP of World Series. I look at it. They are very, very they're very cohesive, which is an amazing thing to say for a team that gets brought together so quickly. So for me, it's the Dodgers.
There you go. All right. Tell everybody where they can find your work and all that kind of good stuff online.
All right. You can find me. I am at Steve Carney on Twitter and Instagram. SaintPete9.com is the website where we talk all things Rays. The Under the Orange Roof podcast, of course, that you mentioned, more Rays talk as well. Available wherever you get your favorite podcasts and a full archive at SaintPete9.com.
Keep up the great work, Steve. Again, thank you for your service. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Go Rays. Let's get what is it a wraparound?
It is, Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday to Sunday. Sounds like Saturday's pretty sold out, but if you're still looking for tickets, I'm sure you can go to the Rays online and buy tickets. And good eventful series. The first visit of the Yankees. There'll be a lot of Yankee fans in the crowd, I'm sure, but it'll be a very festive and very spirited crowd, I'm sure, over at the Trump.
The good thing about Yankee fans being in the ballpark is when the Rays win, they go home disappointed, and that is always fun to watch.
And speaking of the Yankee fans, what a disgrace earlier in the year throwing the trash on the field in the Indy. They had a little dust up with the the Guardians, all that.
Trust me, I've done the same. I've made the same mistake, which is hilarious. It's
I owe $5 to the pot for the but all right, Steve, have a great weekend and we'll talk soon, my man.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, we'll see you next time on the Powers on Sports podcast. Have a great week.